Greetings, kings and queens. Welcome back to my channel. This is your sister Kathy Vet coming to you with season 2 of ZATIMA. Yes, so excited. You know, we start off each week. They have 2 episodes. So I'm going to get into episode 1, then jump right into 2. But listen, DeVal, Mr. Ellis, I am repping Brooklyn, bruh. I'm from Jersey, but hey, I love my family across the bridge, and you best to believe, well, I got hit 2 bridges to get to you, bro. But you represented, you kicked it off when it comes to, you know, what happened this season. So yeah, you coming in strong, bro. The dynamics and your level and your acting skills, I just want to give my brother a clap. And of course my sister Crystal Renee Hazlitt, you did it too, queen. Just got a shout out to my Brooklyn brother because yeah, I'm proud of you, bro. Do your thing. So definitely hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on future episodes and content that I may bring. Get in here, like, share, and let's have a discussion. Now let's get into it. Now, what I want to get into is the episode started with, well, it's basically about a sister being tired out. You know what I'm saying? A sister is complaining to her friend Angela about Zach doing too much. Now you know how Angela is with her little messy self. Oh, well, if you don't do it all the time, you know he going, start going to somebody else. That's not necessarily true. But kings, if you in here, I would love for you to give your input on this particular topic. Has your lady been saying you just doing too much, you need a break? Ladies, have you gone through that with your significant other? Let me tell you something. It can be a lot, brothers. It can be a lot. And even if the sex is good, even if there's a lot of passion and you love each other, sometimes our body parts are not quite the same. We really need a break sometimes. You know, we may be going through things there and get wore out, physically. Just be a little mindful and considerate when it comes to that topic, because you can be going like a jackrabbit. And I'm not saying there's not a lot of women out there that have a strong sex drive as well. Yes, they do. But our body go through changes, especially as we get a little bit older. Maybe we start gravitating towards our 40s, 50s. We are not going the same way as we may have did when we were younger. Now, definitely, a lot of times that's the opposite with women. As we get older, many times our sex drive would increase, as opposed to the men when they're younger. They're more active when it comes to their sex drive. Now, these are two vital, still pretty youthful individuals. But when you work all day or you're running a business and, Zach and Fatima don't have children yet, but let's say they do, then it's going to be, maybe less time for all that crazy stuff they want to do. Now, Zach is trying to say that she changed since they got engaged. It's easy to say that. A lot of times, individuals don't want to get married for that, because they think that a lot of the activity that they did when they were going together may change, and they're afraid of that. Or, the wild, crazy adventures they used to have in that department may, are going to go down. They hear a lot of that from their friends, but it doesn't have to be that way. One of the things you always need to remember a lot of times with relationships is to, there's other things to be intimate. It doesn't necessarily have to be the exact, intercourse. There's a lot of things that you can stimulate each other and have a good time in that, area, without having to do that all the time. Or just, brothers, give your ladies a break. She may get worn out. And she was saying, like, 4 or 5 times a day. Probably a couple times in the morning. You saw, you saw when they started off, they were in the shower, and she's just like, after a while, it's not fun no more. It's becoming like a chore. It's tiring. You don't want to turn your man down. You don't want to have him run into the arms of another woman. And if your brothers, you don't have to do that if your, wife is looking out for you in that area. But, just ease up a little bit. Fatima said she never had anyone with this level of a sexual appetite. And now you see you in a predicament now, Zach, with these 2 babies that you done you done came into, and she is asking to slow your roll a little bit. And so she talked about Angela with that. And yeah, she got her advice, but I really don't. Sometimes Angela, the messier the better. I don't know her level of advice. Maybe she needs to be talking to somebody else, because she always wants to think the worst. Angela always coming to Fatima with the nonsense. So putting that in her head about cheating, I don't think was the best level of advice. But that's what she did. Now, to move on off that topic, then you have the situation with Bryce and Zach. I think they getting back together after that incident last season with how Bryce made a pass at him, and that leaves the situation a little uncomfortable. So now they may dissolve the business and the partnership together. I don't know if that will change, but right now, you say in your office, I stay in mine, and he let him know you really crossed the line. Even if you went that way, or you bisexual or whatever, don't disrespect me and cross that line when I told you I wasn't with that. So Bryce really crossed it, and I don't know if there's any coming back from that. I don't know if Bryce is going to continue, because right now Angela don't even think that she really going to be bothering him like that. So I don't know if Bryce is even going to continue on in the season. I don't know him and where him and Zach's friendship will stand, but we shall see when it comes to that. So now we have the situation also with Zach's brother wanting, still pushing him to go see the mom, and Zach's not feeling that. And, that whole situation is not really doing too well with Zach, because he has a lot of pain from the past when it comes to his brother and when it comes to his mom. So I'm excited this season that we get to see his mom get into that family dynamics a little bit deeper, and which we will talk about in a second, because I'm about to jump into episode 2. That's what happened, and then we get to see the whole dynamic with Fatima's family as well. Now, episode 1, I mean, that's basically the issue, what happened in the first episode regarding Zach's sexual appetite and them trying to come to an agreement. So it ended with Fatima basically letting Zach know, I think you need a side chick. And so he don't get what she's saying. He's like, you setting me up. The thing about it, Zach, is you was actually contemplating with this. You just wanted to know if she was serious. Like, really, bro? You want those kind of problems? Put in the comments if you thought that Zach probably was with it, if Zatima was going to bring another third party into this situation. But yeah, definitely comment on the dynamic with issues. Have you ran into these problems with your man or woman when it came to too much sex? Or maybe it was the flip side and just too little. What was that? There's some issues about it, but we ain't even gonna get into too little. We gonna get into too much, because that's what this topic was about. Just too much. Maybe there are some brothers out there who had a woman whose appetite was too crazy, and maybe you couldn't hang with her. Hey, you never know. It might be the flip side to that. But comment below, and how did you deal with that? So Fatima's thing was, there's a lot of things out there that you can purchase to satisfy yourself. Like, there's a lot of sisters out there that may be single and they get into certain things just to fulfill that, not to go running being promiscuous out there. They satisfy themselves. Men have done that. So she wants to bring a party into it that's an object. Little do Zach know. So she goes to the car. Now this is something. Did y'all notice there was a situation with Fatima, and that's another thing. This fine brother who they met on the job, and we saw previews that he's going to be, I think, in throughout this season, helped her with her car. Now, she was going to call Zach, and that was another issue. Not going to your man for help. When there is, you have a relationship, and many of us are strong, I'm guilty, considered strong black women who are very independent. We may be single, and for so long we have been maintaining ourselves. And when we get into a relationship, and comment, brothers, if you stop it by, kings, have you been in a situation where you want to do for your woman and she will not allow you, or she says it's done already? Ladies, we have to understand that even though we've been doing a lot on our own for so long, men like to feel needed. They like to feel wanted. And even if you can do it, listen, I'm ready to take the Superwoman cape off. A sister's been single for a while, or divorced for a while. So, yeah, I can't wait till my king comes along and I can take the Superwoman cape up and just, enjoy my femininity and be a woman and not have to do everything, and really just have somebody to take a little of that load off. But sometimes it's hard to get off of that when you've done it so long, and then you don't want to look like you're helpless and you can't do things, or you don't want to bother your man if he's busy. But Zach told her, why couldn't you contact me? Especially when she said, there was a guy on the job, he said he'd do it, and he's looking out for her. I don't know the dynamics of that. She left the car, but where did you go get your little toy from if you don't have a car? I don't know what car you got it out of. I don't know if you brought it in and left it outside or whatever. You said, I'm going to go get it. I don't know where you had it, but I thought Angela gave you a ride because your car is at the garage at the job. I don't know. Sometimes certain things don't make sense, but I digress. We'll leave that there. So she basically told Zach that she's going to get it, and Zach is like, oh, she better be fine or whatever. And he's wondering, like, is she for real? She going to get somebody for us? So now we jump into episode 2. I'm crossing episodes, trying to make sure I got everything in the right episode. But she comes in and gets it, and he realizes it's a toy, and or you got to do his wetter or whatever, and she'll feel like the real thing. And he's like, are you for real? Like, are you for real? That's another object. When she gets worn out or tired, he can use that. I don't know. I think he really needs to exercise self-control. That's with any man who may want it all the time. Just learn to wind down, because that's still like doing something else sexual, and that may lead to other things as well. But she's trying to give herself a break, so she's giving him a little toy to help him out a bit when he's in those situations. Zach ain't feeling that. I don't think a lot of men would be feeling that. It's either you or nothing, baby. So, brothers, would y'all go with that to give your woman a break? Or you just like, no, I just won't do anything until she's ready? Comment. I like to find that out. But yeah, so I personally don't think too many, at least brothers anyway, would be with that. So no, and Zach is not. So that was that. And now they're talking about the situation with Zach's mom. He goes to the barbershop with his friends and they're talking. The brother coming there smoking, being disrespectful. They tell him to get out. He's acting like a real jerk, pushing up on Zach to basically go see his mom. And Zach like, for what? Because she hears I got a house, came to some money. And so now that's a struggle. And so he brought that, to Fatima, and she really wanted to, be there for him, to support him. But we see that he went himself. So the actress, I know her in so many things, is glad that she's playing Zach's mom. She's a great actress, and she's playing his mother, who basically is in a halfway house. She's been on drugs most of Zach's life. We get to hear the story about what happened. So in the episode, we see, there's an issue. Zach's brother really don't care for him. Of course, he did time. I would like to know the details on that. Hopefully, we'll find out that story on how he went to jail for Zach. They probably was out there dealing this stuff together, and the brother got caught, and he didn't want his, little brother to get in it, so he did the time. So now he expects Zach to pay for that, and the mom too. But mom just basically wants some money, and she's still, not treating him so nice. She still doesn't seem like she getting after all these years. Zach is grown now, and you still have a problem. And they out there hustling or what have you. And, the brother got money from him. Of course, like Zach wrote him a check for like 10 grand. So I'm sure he sold that with mom, and she still ain't got nothing to show for it. And they got thrown out of the place, so that's why she's there. And so Zach is frustrated because he realizes she still hasn't changed. So now, brother got an attitude. I don't even know why you messing with this nigga and all this kind of stuff. And then they going on, and she's like upset and saying, no, be quiet. So we know the brother don't even want to bother with Zach. It's the mother that keeps sending him to go get him. So she was like, I'm not giving you no money, because Zach knows, I'm not giving you the money, but I'll take you shopping. So she was like, you ain't got to follow me, whatever, X, Y, and Z. So he takes her to the store, and he's talking to Fatima, tell her what's up. And she wanted to see if he was okay. He said, yeah. Now, mom, they was in the car talking, and she was like, you ain't got to follow me in the store. And he was like, no, you going with me. So they get in the store, and she pissed off because you could tell she looking like she want to be out of that spot, because she told him, just give me the money. Give me $100 or whatever. I'll get the food. So he gave her the money, but he said, I'm going with you. So while he's having a conversation on the phone, and this girl, then one of his exes rolls up on him, see him looking good. And I'm like, oh, I remember her too, from a couple things. She's in there, and he's like, oh, God. So he's on the phone with Fatima, and she was like, who's that? And he's talking to her, and, evidently this was like his girl that he was really crushing on back in the day. He lies and tells Fatima, oh, some guy he ran into, and she's like, whatever, that must be your girl. And he told her, I'm engaged right now. And she's like, whatever. And because she wanted to spend time with him and catch up. And I'm like, Zach, you don't need those kind of problems. Cut it off quick. So I'm glad he told her that he engaged and be done with that. But that was a distraction now for mom. And he was like, she did it again. So this is where I really, really seen DeVal's acting skills. Really the growth of him with this character and Zach, and the level Zach is going now from when we first saw him in Sisters has really, grown through leaps and bounds. And, being in that car, going through, really basically being that hurt little boy, and having him, relive his childhood. And, Fatima realized, when he came home, he was sitting in the car, and she's like, what's wrong? And he said, I'll be okay. I'll be in there. But, like the ride or die that she is, she came and sat in the car with him. And she said, you don't have to come inside or whatever. I'm not leaving you. And she basically stayed right there. And he explained what had happened. And he was so hurt by, what happened. And he explained to Fatima when he was little, with his mother being out there, and he saw his mom give a man head, and that was devastating to him. And he called out for his mom, and she did. You talk about tearing up and crying. That scene had me crying. I ain't gonna cry for y'all out here, but that really had me choked up, because many of our brothers and sisters have been traumatized in their childhood by things with their parents or a family member that has been with them through this day, that they have not gotten therapy for, that they have not healed on. And those scars have gone and carried on into future relationships and basically have destroyed those relationships because of the matters. We really, a lot of us, so many of us are messed up from childhood trauma. Things that were done a lot of times from our parents. And that hurt is a scar that we really have to address if we're really going to heal, especially as a people, and have healthy relationships. I mean, we were scarred from the time we were brought into this country. And then to have to deal with childhood trauma and things from family members, not to mention society scars. You wonder, why. That's why we are strong as a people, because we have really been through a lot and we continue to move on. We continue to push through, but many of us have pushed through. We love our God. You can best believe that. We some praying people. But at the same time, we need to get some professional help because we already going through the PTSD of slavery. That post-traumatic slave syndrome is serious. And then we have the dynamics of growing up and our individual families and those scars. So it's trauma on top of trauma. And the way he cried in that, and he said, now here she is leaving me yet again. It was sad. It was so sad. And he cried in Fatima's arms, and I think that's something that's bringing them closer, sharing that. And he was so hurt, and it's like, how much do I gotta take from my mother? She took away my childhood, I guess, foster care, and the streets, and trying to make it the best way he knew how. And then now you're trying to take from me again, and not be there as a mother. But mom has her own level of trauma. Many times it's a bad cycle, and she has her own ills that she has to deal with, and she does not know how to fight it, and she's not willing to. And until she do, hurt people are gonna hurt people. So the best thing for him to do until mom gets herself together is to not get back in that environment, not to go back and relive that pain and open up those scars. And like Fatima told him, you have to get help. You have to see somebody. And he said that's what he's gonna do. So I'm looking forward to the season where we see our brother get help. So because I think that's a great storyline, especially for Black men. It's okay to talk to somebody. It's okay. We have our faith in God. We pray, but at the same time, God works through people, and through those people you can help heal some of those scars. Not just put a band-aid on it, but deal with it from within, so it can heal the right way, and you can get some clarity and understanding from some things and unburden that, so you can move on with healthy relationships. So that was really powerful. I commend both of them for a very, very traumatic scene, a very heartfelt scene, a very moving scene. And it's a theme that many of us can relate to in some way, shape, or form. Yeah, that scene really hit me hard. Not that I had a parent that, was on drugs, but I did have some level of trauma when it comes to certain things and treatments from your mom. Sometimes it's very, very hurtful, and that you still deal with to this day, no matter how old you get. So yes, therapy is very key. I started last year just dealing with a traumatic few years with this pandemic, and a lot of loss made me realize how serious mental health is. No matter how spiritual or strong you think you are, you could be going through some things and having reactions that you don't even realize, and you have to talk it out, and you have to gain some level of understanding and seek professional help to heal, seriously heal. So I hope you enjoyed those first two episodes as much as I did. You see old girl Deja is still at it with her little drama. You know, she's talking about when she got pulled up out of the I ain't even getting to that, but you know, Deja being Deja from being pulled out of the jacuzzi and get her behind whooped. So she's still trying to be slick and wanting Zach's help, even though Fatima threatening her behind. She don't care. She thinks she crazy, and she's still there up there barking and running off at the at the mouth. Deja is not gonna learn until she gets some more of that behind whooping. And again, until next time, can't wait for the next two episodes and see what's going to go on with the families, because Zach asked about her mom, and Fatima's mother don't even know about her and Zach's relationship. Well, her parents don't even know about her and Zach's relationship. I don't think, definitely not the engagement. So even if she mentions Zach, evidently she didn't mention how serious this is getting. And now, oh yeah, we already know who her cousin is. So let's get into this family dynamic with Fatima and see what that storyline is, because it's time to meet her parents. So we're gonna get into all of this. So we got a lot to get into this season. Continue, please come back, join me again. Thank you for stopping by for those who have now, and definitely come back and let's have a discussion on our show, ZATIMA. Until next time, remember to stay authentically you, because there's no one like you, and live the life you deserve. Peace.